Okay.
My name's Emily. I'm one of the admissions reps here at Judson. Thanks for being here and joining us for our live chat. I'll let you go ahead.
My name is Flor Frondoso. I am the head of the Department of Financial Aid. So I am here to help Emily and help you all. Thank you for taking your time. I know it's dinner time, but you're here joining us, making sure that hopefully we can possibly help you with your decision making for college, decisions, and making sure that we can present to you what Judson can offer. So we're here to help.
All right. Thanks, Flor. I'll get started. All right. So our first question this evening, after getting accepted into Judson, when do students find out if they will receive any scholarships or other funds outside of loans? Essentially, I can say that once you've been admitted, all of your information gets sent over to our financial aid department. And assuming that you have everything turned in as far as adding Judson to your FAFSA and whatnot, you typically will find out depending on when you applied. Right now, our financial aid office has just started pushing out for the fall of 2026, those financial aid packages. So we're in about February. So depending on when you apply, it could be a couple weeks. But if it's before the February mark of that year that you're going to attend, it will probably be February at the earliest that you would see those packages.
Right. And I can add to that, Emily, that as long as you have completed your FAFSA, just like what she said, and we have received all of the information about you regarding your scholarships based on your GPA or any athletic agreements that we need to get from your coaches, we will make sure that we will be able to package you as soon as we can. And hopefully about 2 weeks after we have all of the information that you provided to us, we will make sure that actually just recently we have the FAFSA, the Pell Grant approved finally for the 26-27. So we're ready to help you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. The next one, I'm curious to learn more about the criteria for merit-based academic scholarships. I know the website mentions GPA and ACT scores. Can you share more details? For example, Judson is an ACT optional school. Would students not submitting an ACT score not be eligible for a scholarship? Also, are scholarships automatic based on scores? Do you want to answer that, Flor?
Well, I have a little information about that because most of this actually would probably come from the admissions and the registration regarding the information, the transcripts that they're sending to us. So if it is merit-based, it is supposed to be based on, again, not the SAT, ACT, but based on your GPA, just like what you have read. And then we would probably, add some more based on your academic excellence. Like there's other scholarships available that we can probably offer you once we have all of the information about it. And then once it is committed to you, it's going to be like every year.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I need to add anything, rereading that question. Are scholarships automatic based on scores? I think overall, it's tutorial. It's just based on GPAs, not scores.
Yes.
Okay. So the next one, are there scholarships we can apply for? Yes, there's definitely scholarships. We offer academic scholarships. We have athletic scholarships. There's additional scholarships opportunities to apply for depending on when you apply.
There's endowed funding also. If there's a need, then we can give you forms if there's more need for you to be able to get more scholarships. There's a lot of other scholarships we can offer.
We also accept outside scholarships. So if it's something where you've met the maximum amount that we offer, we do encourage you to look for those outside scholarships as we do stack those on top of the ones that you're eligible for here at Judson. What is the difference between internal and external scholarships? Good lead into.
Good questions. Of course, internal means those are the scholarships that Judson can offer to you guys. And then the external is just what Emily had just said. It's coming from other organizations. Maybe you're a member of an organization, a church actually giving you a scholarship, because we have a lot of students who are actually bringing in benefits from parents who are working for an airline, something like that. So that's something that you bring in to the school. And we will help you facilitate, we will help you speak to the donor or whoever is the person or organization giving it to you.
We also do offer church matching grants. So if you do get an outside scholarship from, say, a church that you are a member of, Judson does a church matching grant for that. All right, next one. I did my application for FAFSA for 25-26. I added Judson as one of the universities I'm interested in. Do I have to do the 26-27 application? So if you're an incoming student for the 26 fall of 2026, you'll definitely need to do the 26-27. And then essentially, as long as you're a student, you're going to need to do FAFSA every single year that you are a student.
Yes, and it is every October 1st when it opens.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you are coming in this upcoming fall, you will need to do the 26-27. The 25-26 was for this year.
Yes. So just to add to that, if you are an Illinois student, you have to do the FAFSA right now. And if you have added the Judson, thank you for doing that. But because the FAFSA and the MAP grant, they're tied up. So once you are eligible for Pell, if you're an Illinois resident, then you may be eligible for the MAP grant also, as well. So you don't lose out on money.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Next question. A question I have is, how long does it typically take to find out how much financial aid we will get? We've been waiting for a couple of months.
Well, you know what? If you can just find out who that student is, so I can check that, because we have been actually following up students also, or prospective applicants to send out the FAFSA. So maybe we just did not see that immediately. But have you been accepted? That's my question, because sometimes we don't know immediately if you're accepted already. We cannot just give you an award. So I think you can email your admissions representative so that we can follow up on that and they can help us.
Yeah, I would definitely say follow up with one of my office in the admissions office, and we can get together with financial aid and see where you're at with that. And like I had said earlier too, in case anyone missed it, that if you had applied and you were admitted and you had add FAFSA, but it's say back in October, they're just now coming out with the fall 2026 students financial aid packages. So you should be seeing that in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
Okay. What about a negative 1,500 SAI?
Oh, that's a very good question. So that's actually meaning that you are full Pell eligible. That means you're eligible for the full amount of 7,395, and that will be divided by 2 for each semester. So if you are starting this coming fall 2026, you will be given half of the 7,395, and then half of that will be in the spring 2027. And again, are you an Illinois resident? Because if you are, that means you're also eligible for the MAP grant of 8,064. That's a huge amount of money. And then again, it's divided by 2 for the fall and for the spring.
Yes. And something that we can add to a little bit about the Affordable Illinois with the full MAP and the full Pell, if you want to touch on that.
Well, for the full MAP and full Pell, for the Affordable Illinois, if you're an Illinois resident, and then the difference, we wanted to make sure that we will be able to cover your full tuition, and then we will be looking for other resources to make sure that we're able to assist you to at least come up with a full tuition.
And that's for anybody who qualifies for full Pell and full MAP, which means an Illinois resident as well. Okay, thank you. Let's see.
Can I just add quickly to that? If you are an Illinois resident and you have not filled out your FAFSA, please do not delay anymore, because I am sure that anytime soon the state of Illinois will be sending another suspense date. And what that means is if you applied for FAFSA after the date that they had a cutoff, even though you are full Pell, you will no longer be eligible for the MAP. So
Yeah.
make sure you do it immediately.
Yeah, the sooner the better. Every year it opens, you said October 1st. So the soonest that you can fill that out every year, the better chances
Yes.
are. Okay. Is the financial aid mailed physically to each person?
We email.
Email. So, and it will go to students only. So I know sometimes that's a question parents are asking is if they get a
Most
copy,
of
but we
the
send it.
students email because again, you guys are adults already. But then I think if you give permission to your parents to see that there's nothing wrong, they're starting, so it's okay. And then once they become students, then we will have to let them know about the importance of FERPA, or the privacy for the Family Educational Rights Privacy Act, wherein you can just designate who among your parents or relatives can access or view your financial aid or any student account matters.
Perfect. Sounds good. Okay. When can a student, what can a student expect? Sorry. As an independent student, my SAI number is low. So what would I qualify for?
So you are now an independent student? That's a good question, because being an independent student, that gives you more eligibility for loans. Okay. However, as far as the free money is concerned, it is just the same thing as a dependent student. For example, you say that you are low income, meaning probably a negative 1,500 SAI, you qualify for the full Pell. You may also qualify for full MAP if you are an Illinois resident. For the loans, the eligibility for a first year student is 9,500 for an independent student. 3,500 of that is the subsidized loan, and $6,000 is the unsubsidized loan. Now, can I still go further with the difference between the two? Subsidized loan is the one that has no interest while you are at school, and you will only be paying for that 6 months after you graduate. So there is no interest while you are at school. The unsubsidized loan, by the word itself, there is no more subsidy for the interest. As soon as we are able to disburse the unsubsidized loan, then therefore the interest starts to accrue. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. And then, however, you're not required to pay while you are at school. For both of these types of loans, you are only required to pay 6 months after you graduate.
Okay. And then just to follow that up, it's the same person asking. It says, I am from Virginia, but have money from football and academic. So I believe this is, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that in addition.
Well, that means that we need to reach out to the coach, because I don't know yet about that, because again, we only receive what the coaches recommend on us. So I think it's good. That's actually a good question. If you're interested, your admissions rep or us will all be able to help you connect to our coach then.
Okay, perfect. All right. So the next one, what can a student expect this Saturday at the Scholarship Day? So first off, congratulations on being invited to Scholarship Day. For anybody that has, Scholarship Day is something that happens. It's an invitation event that based upon your GPA and test scores and some of your qualifications as far as the leadership roles that you play in your community and whatnot goes into a decision. And some students, their senior year, will be invited to something called Scholarship Day. One was in December, and there's an upcoming one this weekend, actually. And it's an opportunity. It's more of a conversation that you have versus like an interview, per se, with some faculty and staff here at Judson. And it determines some additional scholarships that you may be eligible for that will get, say, put in with or stacked with, say, athletic scholarships or any other eligible aid that you qualify for. So it's more of just a conversation that you will, have with someone, an opportunity to kind of just like people to get to know you. There's an opportunity sometimes to meet with coaches or other students that are incoming. So it's a really cool event if you have been invited. And so for anybody that say perhaps is not in their senior year, and maybe you're a junior as of right now, this would be something that would take place and the invitation would happen for you next year because it's your senior year. Okay. If I receive an external scholarship, would that affect the scholarship that Judson offers me?
It should not. It should not. Should not affect because it's something that you work for. Somebody wants to give it to you. Why would we say no to that? It should not.
Okay.
As long as, let me just clarify, as long as all of the awards and aid will not exceed the cost of attendance, and it barely happens. So bring in whatever you can bring in, and it will not affect anything.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to fill out the 2026-2027 FAFSA, and it is asking me for an invitation code. What code is that?
Okay, that invitation is not supposed to be for you. I believe it is going to be for the parent because if you are a dependent student, maybe turning 18 or 18 and younger than 24, so you are considered a dependent student wherein the FAFSA requires a parent contributor. So you will have to put the email of the parent whom you're going to put there or who did the tax information. And then what the parent needs to do is to make sure she or he keeps watch of his email and make sure that he opens that and validate his email. And then there will be a portion. The parent has to have his or her own username and password in the FAFSA. And then once he or she logs in, he will need to sign. And it's only about the financial information or the income information of the parents. So that invitation is supposed to be for the parent.
Yes, thank you. What is MAP grant?
MAP is actually an acronym for a monetary award program. This is a program that is given by the state of Illinois. So if you are an out of state, you don't qualify for that. This is for students who have full Pell and whose SAI is up to $9,000. So even if you are not full Pell, if your SAI is 5,000, you still qualify for the full MAP grant. It's a grant. It's some money that you don't need to pay. It's free.
Thank you. And that's the one that they do sometimes stick those deadlines on.
Yes.
So it's very important.
Let me reiterate, the FAFSA 2627 started last year. So it's open. So make sure you fill it out. Now, the 2728 is for this coming October. So make sure that if you're starting this coming fall, go ahead and whatever school you go to, if you're in Illinois, you have to fill out your FAFSA now.
Okay, thanks. So are the scholarship notifications different from the financial aid notifications that you are saying are happening now in February?
Well, the notification will come only from the financial aid. It is an award letter. We call that award letter, unless you already have a prior conversation with a coach recruiting you and saying, hey, Flor, you actually have I would like you to play in the football and I probably will give you, based on the information I got from financial aid, I'll give you 10,000. So that's separate. You have an internal initial conversation with other people. But for us in financial aid, we send out an award letter. We call that award letter that includes all the grants and aid scholarships, including loans, including supplemental education opportunity grant and a possible work study. It's all there.
Okay. I just want to go back to one really quick that let's see. All right, well, hold on. We'll move on. Will there be more scholarship days after this weekend? No. So for the 26-27 school year for incoming freshmen, now the scholarships that are awarded are only for those incoming freshmen that are in their senior year. So those actually are not, transfer students are not eligible for those specific scholarships. Not that they aren't eligible for other scholarships, but not for those. But for the 26-27 year, this is the last date. The February date is the second one, and so that's the last one. So there won't be any more scholarship days for the incoming freshmen of the fall 2026 semester. Hopefully that made sense. Are students who take a gap year eligible to participate in scholarship days? That's a good question. And I guess, yes, it is first-time freshmen. So as long as they don't take any other college courses in between, obviously what gap year means, then yes, they would be. It's first-time freshmen. When should I expect the financial aid package? And if I haven't received it, what should I do? So this one, I believe, we have your financial aid package. I'm looking at specifically who the sender is, and that we were missing a piece of it, and that Monica, who is your rep, will reach out to you this week to answer any of your additional questions. But just to reiterate to that, financial aid packages are just starting to come out right now for the fall of 2026. And so typically that's kind of how it will be, so if you're fall 2027, you should hear by next February, but it just all kind of depends on when you apply.
If you are a student from a previous, a scholarship day, maybe we're just looking into making sure that all our ducks in a row are here, because we're making sure that before we send out the award letter, we got everything checked out. Like, did we have the official athletic agreement from the coach or anything else? But we would like to make sure that we will be sending it out hopefully before the end of the week. If you are, everything has been submitted and given to us, all of the information. So,
and then, like I said, and if you do have any additional questions or any of your questions aren't answered on here, definitely reach out to your admissions rep. Okay. What are some other options for covering tuition if federal support comes up short and loans won't cover?
And that's a very good question again. So other options. So what we normally do is to, stack up your scholarships and grants. And then if you are eligible for the loans, as a dependent student, you're also eligible for student loans, which is smaller than an independent. So we have a subsidized loan of $3,500 for a student who is independent, and $2,000 for unsubsidized. Now, other sources, a parent can actually, borrow money as a parent plus. And then what's going to happen is that if the parent is approved, it can actually cover for the gap or the remaining balance. Or if the parent is not approved, then we will have the opportunity in financial aid to actually offer you an additional $4,000 unsubsidized loan. This is the one with the interest. So again, those are the other options. And again, if they don't want to do the parent plus, there are also private loans that's available. It's in our website. Although I don't highly encourage that because the interest is really high. So I always advocate for parent, borrowing, because it's with less interest.
Which actually brings us to the next question. Thoughts on private loans, parent loans, etc. Best resources to compare rates, etc.
Correct. Yes. So actually, again, I just said about it that Parent Plus is more of cheaper when I'm less interest. It is, I think it is 8.064 right now. And then private loans is ranging. I have seen this with our students from a minimum. This is the minimum 12% to as high as 16, 17%. because it's based on credit worthiness.
Okay. So, and then do you know of any resources that like shows those comparisons online or anything like that? Like,
Actually, it does. When you go to the website of Judson and you choose there the private loans, and then it pops up all the different lenders that offers the loan. Let's say Sally Mae. There is that Elm one in our website, and then we can give you that in the. I will put it in to you. Give it to you, Emily, for the chat so that you can give it to them. And then once you say that I would like a loan as an undergraduate student, then all of the loans lenders will pop up and show you the interest ranging from 2.69 to this much percentage. And sometimes it's not true. They say that, no co-signer, but then once they see the information of the applicant, then things change.
perfect. Awesome. Okay. Next, if a student studies abroad during a semester, can scholarship money be applied to semester abroad?
Well, if there is enough money, of course, but then in the cost of attendance, this is something that's unique and it is not outlined in the cost of attendance. So this is something on top of the cost of attendance. So I am assuming that your money that's awarded to you will not be enough to cover the trip. A Europe trip is expensive. So I have seen a lot of students who actually went to that, and some are able to get good amount of grants and scholarships, and some parents borrowed money. But if we're going to be talking about the normal 4-year degree without all of those travels, it's not part of our cost of attendance. It's a case-to-case basis per student. But as long as we can find a resource, if there is a donor, if you can apply for an endowed that actually supports that program for you to travel because of your program, architecture, or anything, then why not? It will be added there.
All right. So it is possible if there's money left over.
If there is money left over. But the normal situation we provide all of these awards and aid based on the normal situation that you will be on school, here on campus, housing, food, all of those things. There is no specific consideration for a general, population for a trip. It is a case-to-case basis.
Okay, great. What is the expected annual increase in costs over 4 years?
To be honest with you, actually, we have not increased the tuition in a long time. And the most recent was, I think, actually less than 3%. It's not huge. We don't really, yeah, we did this year. We did increase our tuition this year, but compared to some other schools that actually has a very high, rate of increase. I don't remember the rate, but it's just few. If I can just calculate it quickly, and I'll give you the figure because I know that we did increase this year, but I just want to give the range. Okay, so just give me a second.
I'll give you a second because I can answer the next one.
Yes, yes.
Is there a way for room and board to be cheaper? So a couple things. So outside scholarships are always a great resource to try to bring in to help cover your costs of room and board. So that's something that we encourage students to look for, those outside scholarships to help bring down that cost. Also, living off campus is something that you can explore as an option. It does seem, it can seem high. However, if you take a look around, sometimes I know a lot of students have gone on those outside journeys to try to see what the cost of living would be, and it ends up being actually more, especially in this area. But that is an option that you can definitely explore if that's something that you are, looking to try to reduce the cost.
I can answer now. Just this year, we had 3% increase, only tuition. We did not even increase our fees and a little bit in the housing. Just to, the maintenance is getting so high. So it's not really a lot. 3% is not a big increase for a big university.
Okay. The next one. Could you share more about the types of scholarships that are determined on the scholarship day?
We have on the scholarship day, actually, once you are interviewed, just like what you have said earlier, Emily, the interviewing person is already assessing, based on your story and then what you need. So there's more other endowed scholarships available other than just what's you know in the scholarship day. We have the academic excellence, so you can be chosen as a Rocher scholar, a Slavic scholar. It all depends. There's criteria in there, and then those are things that's determined by the interviewing person. And then there's uh, also that variety, a wide variety of endowed that we can offer, and we can give you the form for that just in case. So we can send it to you if ever we have the package already and then you need more.
Okay. What is the next step we take after we receive the financial aid package? It depends on where you are already. If you've already, the first step or second step, depending on where you are, would be to make your deposit. So your admissions rep, when they send you out after they've let you know that you've been admitted, and say you have received your financial aid and you're ready to, make the commitment, and this is, going to call Judson home, then your instructions for submitting the deposit for the enrollment and housing deposit, or just enrollment, depending if you're commuting or not, is made through your My Judson account. That's an email that would have been sent, and you should have your login. However, if you ever have any questions with any of that, like your admissions rep should be able to walk you through how to make that payment. And essentially, once you've received that package and once you've made your deposit, it's kind of, sit tight a little bit until your registration. You should be able in a couple more months to see, how the registrar's office has laid out, whether you're a transfer student, the remaining classes that you have, or if you're an incoming freshman, like the courses that they have you in track based upon the major that you're interested in obtaining, what that schedule will look like. And then when registration opens up in May, then you register there, and those are kind of like the next steps. But your admissions rep should kind of stay in contact with you. That way, if you have questions along the way, and you can always reach out to them as well.
Can I add to that, Emily? So once you have decided and committed and you said that, oh, okay, I think I like my package here, and then I like also going to Judson, we will be sending out to our students an email saying, since you're ready right now, we are going to ask you to kindly log into your My Judson portal, the Jensabar Financial Aid, which we will give you the instructions on how to do that, so you can accept all the aid in the portal. You have to accept everything so that we can now, it will give us the opportunity to process your loans and everything. And also, if you are intending to accept your loans, there is also another set of requirements that you need to complete. For example, the master promissory note and the entrance counseling. So again, if everybody's committed and then we get all of this list of these students that are ready, we will be sending out emails to each and every one of you to give you instructions. Congratulations. Go ahead and log in now to your My Judson portal, financial aid. And then what's going to happen is that once it is accepted, then that means you are set. Meaning that would allow you now, your registration will be there and everything. And then there is a set date on our side to make the disbursements.
Okay. Let's see. My daughter needs to apply this week. Is there a way to still come to scholarship day potentially? No, unfortunately, scholarship day registration has been closed. We need to make the schedule up and plan that very intentionally. And so those have already started to be made. So we will still be able to get a very competitive package put together, but they won't be able to attend scholarship day if they're senior this year, starting in the fall. Do you guys offer jobs on campus so we can pay for the remaining amount for college? I'll comment a little bit just in general as yes, there's definitely, we offer on-campus jobs. There's places like we have the campus post office and food services and the library and the coffee shop. And so there's a wide range of jobs that you can apply for. You have to kind of like look for them on the job postings, or you can show up to certain places if you're interested and kind of go through a interview process and see if it fits with your schedule, whether you have practice or just school in general. So yes, that's definitely an opportunity. And then I'll let Flora finish the rest of that question.
Okay, I would like to clarify, because I know you would like to work on campus. So we have this federal work study. We also offer that. If you will see that in your award letter, it shows $2,000. But the difference though is it is not like the loan or the Pell Grant that it is really posted in your student account that it is an award. What needs to happen here is there is an award there, but that does not get posted as a money, but that gives you the opportunity to work for the campus. Then again, just like what Emily had said, you can apply in different departments. Sometimes I need some student workers in my department doing the filing, scanning, or answering phone calls. So yes, you can work on campus.
Okay. What would you say to someone considering the ROI of a private college degree at Judson versus going a cheaper alternative route? Pros and cons to taking on the debt.
Okay, that's a very good question, a very intelligent question. You're getting ready about being practical of choosing which school. But I believe I am new at Judson, but I have seen, based on those reports that they have actually shared with me, that ROI, I'm assuming is what you meant, but is return of your investment, meaning you're spending so much money for all of this, and then can I find a job? Of course, because I believe, okay, I am new at Judson, but with what I have seen, Judson is really committed to helping our students succeed. So making sure that they find a job, and sometimes they even give opportunity for the graduates to start with Judson, right? Like you work for Judson initially, and then once up, you get all of the trainings and all of the opportunities and knowledge that you have. You can move on to different companies. But yes, I think Judson is a good place to go to, and you will have a good return of your investment, because you're not taking out so many loans here. We are offering you a lot of scholarships.
So, one thing I'll add to that too is one thing I really like about the Judson is I feel like a lot of our professors are actually not just professors; they're actually active, have careers in the certain fields that they're also teaching upon, which also means that they have connections with a lot of different firms, especially in our architecture department and in our counseling and things like that. And so the odds of you getting an internship, which then further leads into a job or a connection to a job, I feel like the chances are here at Judson are a lot greater than, say, a bigger sometimes university where it's just kind of like fend for yourself. Here we really do have a lot of connections with not just Elgin, but locally and a little bit further in the Midwest. And so your chances of getting a job in the field that you're going into is a lot greater, which in turn would be a big return on your investment, in my opinion. Okay. To volunteer for a job involved in sports, like a team manager, would I have to enroll before I contact the coaches for this position, or would it be better to contact them to let them know I'm interested? I think just to clarify, if you're saying that you say like to be a part of a sports team as a team manager, yes, first I would say I would apply. And then as you're going through the process of becoming a student here at Judson, especially if you decide to come on a visit, that's something that we can get you connected with the coaches, which you can express your interest, especially in something like being a team manager, or some being involved with the team in some way. If you haven't checked out our campus before, we love to have visitors here on campus so you can kind of get a feel for what Judson is, but you can also have the opportunity to meet with a coach or meet with a professor or department chair And, that's the opportunity for you to be able to connect so that when you are admitted, and you do, decide to come here, that you kind of already have that connection with the coaches. So, let's see. Can you explain SAI?
Okay. Again, SAI is an acronym. It says Student Aid Index. It is a formula that was designed by the Department of Education based on different parameters from the parent's income. It used to be called EFC. It is more simple actually because EFC stands for Expected Family Contribution. But that does not mean that's what the contribution of the parents or the family should be. But it is an index or a gauge for us in the department, the financial aid coming from the Department of Education to gauge how much is the need for the student to be helped. Like the SAI of negative 1500 means we need to give the student full Pell, and opens doors for many other scholarships because you are classified as in need. So it's just a terminology, but we didn't create that formula. It is a formula designed by ED or Department of Ed so that it is easier for us to award a Pell. So basically, it's based on income, family income. If the family has an SAI of 100,000, chances are you don't have Pell, and also that actually limits your loan eligibility to unsubsidized only.
Okay. So I'm gonna answer probably oh, okay. Never mind. They just did that. One thing I wanted to clarify is I know that there were some questions about the scholarships that are offered at Scholarship Day, and Flora had kind of briefly, talked about that. But some additional ones that, and the athletic scholarships that we have, the academic scholarships that we also have music, theater, and art scholarships. And so, if that's something that you're interested in, doing theater and also behind the scenes in the theater, like the tech and stuff like that. Those are some additional scholarships that can be awarded that you don't necessarily have to be at Scholarship Day to receive. So you can get with your admissions rep and say, hey, I did, the theater all 4 years at my school, and I'm really interested in doing that. And, we can get you connected with, Dr. Anderson or whoever's in charge of that department that you're looking for, and get you, an audition time or get you some more information. So those are also additional scholarships that we offer that you don't necessarily have to be invited to Scholarship Day to receive.
That's right.
So I think we're kind of out of questions. We're almost out of time. So if anybody has some additional questions, I know we put it in the chat, but make sure you get those in. Do you have anything to add, Flora?
Well, I just would like to thank all of them for coming here in this venue and this, so that we can help them. But if they have any questions, feel free to email the financial aid at judsonu.edu. And also, my office is also open every time there's visitors coming in, even if you're not yet a student and you just want to ask questions. We welcome and highly encourage also parents to come and visit us so we can explain. Sometimes it's better to be in person so we can show them around and then also explain to them in person. And there are a lot of questions sometimes that they would like to ask, but then they forget about it. So thank you for the opportunity that we're able to help you right now. But I think that's all that I can,
So one thing to add to that too is if you do schedule a visit to come to Judson, that is another thing that we can set up, not only with, say, sitting in on a class, meeting with a coach, meeting with a department chair. We can set it up so that you can meet with somebody in the financial aid department so that you can get all those questions answered up in person. I have a couple more that did just come in. So, what is the deadline to apply for admissions? So we do have a rolling application, and so you can technically apply throughout the year. I would say the closer you get to the beginning of the fall or the spring semester, the harder it gets in order to get everything done in time. And then we try not to get it to the point where, registration is full or whatnot, or housing is full. And so there's no set specific deadline, but the earliest you can apply, we highly encourage that. Just to make sure that you get everything ducks in a row and everything, so we're not scrambling last minute. There's another one. It says, what is the deadline to apply? Or I'm sorry, are there scholarships available for returning students? And then they said, meaning second year. So maybe go into a little bit about what, if they're awarded scholarships, how that is, it all 4 years they're awarded it? Maybe go into that a little bit.
I do have seen returning faculty scholarship. If you are a previous student of Judson, you will be eligible for a returning faculty. I saw that earlier, returning president scholarship, I think, but it's less amount than the initial award that they have reached probably or received before. Yes, we have those returning scholarships.
But as far as if somebody comes and they're awarded a scholarship, say this is what they've been given
before.
No, like say just an incoming new student, that it's not just for their freshman year, it's all 4 years that we're awarding it.
It is going to be automatic, every year once it was committed to you. However, though, I'm very strict on reminding students that we need to make sure that your academic progress is still, you're getting a grade of a GPA of 2.0 and progressing within 150%. There is a pace of progression of 70% for Judson University. It's a requirement by the Department of Education.
Okay, and then just a couple more. Interest rate. Okay, interest rate on an unsubsidized loan.
I believe it's about around 6% right now. I don't have the exact number, but it's around 6%.
Okay. And then
let me just quickly look it up.
Do you offer payment plans?
Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me answer that. The student accounts are not here. So the payment plan, actually, if you have a balance, well, the student accounts will contact you and they will let you know how much is the balance after all the aid, after all of this grants, scholarships, and loans have been applied. You have to pay $100 fee to set up a payment plan, and that is, you have to make a 4 payment. That means that's before August 1 divided by 4. You'll have to make monthly payments. Or if you actually created a payment plan after August 1, then you'll only be allowed to make a payment plan for 3 months.
Okay. So the sooner you set that up, the more affordable those payments become.
The earlier you can set it up, the lesser amount that you need to pay monthly. But if you're not able to do that immediately, then only 3 months then. And that's a lot of money every month.
Perfect. All right. I think just like 1 or 2 more. Sarah, I'm just going to say that Skylar, we received your question. We're going to have Skylar reach out to you about it. So I just wanted to confirm that we did receive your question, Sarah. And then the next one is, once a student attends for a year, are there opportunities to be an RA to help address the housing and meal plan costs? Yes, that after your first year, you can apply to be an RA. And there is a financial benefit to being an RA. I'm not sure exactly what the qualifications or what they qualify for, but you can definitely talk to Resident Life about that, and they'll be able to answer your questions about what that looks like for you after your first year. And then, go ahead.
Let me circle back to the interest. It's 6.39% for
6.39%. Okay, for the unsubsidized loan.
Yes, it's normally the same. Yes.
Okay. And then last one, is there any important deadlines we should know about?
FAFSA is an important deadline. Yes.
Yeah.
That's basic for me. And the important deadline also for me is, once you are accepted and you're committed, is to always read the emails, because that's where we put what you need to do. And there's timelines and deadlines for that. So yes, I don't have any specific deadline right now except for the FAFSA. Do it as soon as you can. and the habit, once you become a student, of reading your emails every day.
Yeah.
That's very important to remind.
And also, I guess it wouldn't be once you're sent your financial aid package, it would be, not a specific date, however, but just to make sure that you deposit in the timely manner. You register for your classes when registration, which all of this, obviously, you need to read your emails in order to know when to do this. So to make your deposit, to register for classes, you'll be sent information about the orientation days that will become, and you'll have to sign up for that. As orientation, for as much as is pretty mandatory, and honestly, it's extremely helpful for both student and parents to know what to expect, to get you moving and everything in a row. Also, before you start, like, there are things like having your health insurance waiver and having certain documents in, physical if you're an athlete, making sure that your either payments made or that your payment plan is set up, because you won't be able to move on campus until that's done. So not that there's specific dates at this given moment other than the FAFSA, but just having the things done in a timely manner before the semester starts. So I think, unless anybody else has any questions, I think those are all of the ones that I have. And I want to say thanks for everybody for joining us as well and being so engaging and asking great questions. I think it's helpful for everybody to kind of know what to expect.
Yes, thank you for allowing us to be able to help you tonight. And I hope you have a good night.
Yeah. And if you do have questions additionally, feel free to reach out to financial aid, and you can reach out to the admissions office and we can get you connected with your rep as well. So that's all. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.